Shalom, my name is Yehoshua, and I'm making this video from Jerusalem. I'm a didactic scientist. I lived here for 22 years. I'm an American citizen. First and foremost, the comment is about Chris's statement. I'm absolutely convinced the main source of hatred in the world is religion and organized religion. Well, this is wrong. And the main source of the vast majority of hatred in the world is the exile of man and mankind from God and from his authentic self, Christopher. And I want to put this into context. It's my opinion that these very specious and often spurious statements and related bombast about your opinions are very much reflective of the journalist and the style and the polemics that seems to go with your rather common dialogic, which is often specious. But let's come to terms, and specifically, you're not a scientist, and you wouldn't know a first principle except reading it in a book, having been told so, but in actually encountering it in science, you don't know it, and that's abundantly clear. And your followers are quite a bit worse, and I'm getting all of these obnoxious, ridiculous emails, explain, and you have to explain, and they're answering. Okay, let me put a context to this. Okay, you presented a question, a challenge in another video, and that was, quote, your words, Chris, you have to name me an ethical statement that was made or a moral action that was performed by a religious person in the name of faith, quote unquote. And you go on, quote, that could not have been made as an action or uttered as a statement by a person not of faith or of no faith, end quote. And no one has, in your words, you said, I've talked to all manner of people and rabbis and thought leaders and Christian leaders, and nobody's taken me up. So I took you up on it, and I said, here is my statement. And it's a statement that I'm making, and it is truth is the information that never changes, parenthetically, in finality, close parens, changing, parenthetically, in intentionality, close parens, end quote. That's my statement. And I said I challenge you that you cannot make that statement. Now, there is no hard and fast rule that you can't, and just say it's so. But hidden in this answer was the classical mind-body problem, and the strong reductionism to the first principles of science that go to identity resolution in modern psychology and in general, and in particular the theory of consciousness. And these are areas that you have no expertise in science, and I was aware of that. And I was put off by your bombast and your presentation and all of the things that your followers and your viewers are so angry about that they're accusing me of. I was giving back a taste of what I observed. It was a mistake. I apologize. But I did answer, and I wouldn't explain based upon all the demands they were making. Now, what I learned was specifically about your personal tragedy in 1973, well, let me see, 27, 8, 31, 32 years ago, as a young man in Oxford, of the tremendous tragedy of the loss of your mother. And the reason I made the effort to inquire was because I observed certain things in your behavior and your presentation and contradictions in your presentations that most people were not able to discern and grasp. Okay, as a fellow Jew, as my brother, as a part of my family, I express for Sarah and I our deepest and most heartfelt sympathies. First, second, you gotta say Kaddish, and for your blessed mother's memory. And third, you have to recognize the enormity of the anger that's in you that comes out and that is projected. And this has to do with religion and organized religion and many, many other things. And so having seen this and observed this and understanding what it was, I saw that there were many things that you were doing and saying that were not only wrong, they were extremely wrong. Now, I'm not going to go beyond that at this point. I'll simply say that's where we are. Now, the classical strong reduction to the mind-body problem that I answered with about information is the truth that never changes, parenthetically. In finality, close parens, changing, parenthetically, and intentionality, quote unquote, is the statement that I made and challenged you and said that could not have been made, and it is not to be made or cannot be made for a number of esoteric reasons beyond this video by one or uttered as a statement by a person with no faith, and by your own declarations, of course, you're an atheist and you're of no faith. But the fact of the matter is, you're the godfather of your best friend's child and your brother. Okay, there's a lot of facts that are contradictory, and most importantly, your identity is contradictory. Okay, there are some things that you have to do for you, and one is, and I'm going to speak very frankly and not to hurt you. You're an on-the-air lush, and you're an angry little boy flaming for attention. You're doing a lot of things that are very destructive and that detract from an absolutely world-class mind. You have a great contribution to make to yourself, to your family, your community, and the nation. And I suspect in other contexts. Now let's get on the same page where we are today in the context of the modern era of history. You are saying things and producing articulations and rationalizing positions that are extreme and are foolish. And I'm speaking particularly of the end of the collapse of the local reality, which is derived from physics. If the local reality collapses, the quantum reality comes into existence. They can't exist at the same time. And I noticed your followers didn't give any indication. They were attacking me and criticizing, but didn't have any idea what I was talking about. And that's what I was saying. Having said that, the end of man and mankind's exile empirically, science is done by two methods, primary methods, I should say, empirically and logically. Regardless of what epistemologies, taxonomies, inductive, deductive, whatever hypotheses, whatever particular methods in the functional sense follow or flow, whether applied mathematics or calculus or logic or whatever. There are all of these complex ways of doing science. But I observed a phenomenon in 1991, and I can consider it very serious, and I continued to follow the problem for all these years, and there was confirmation. So the end of man and mankind's exile is the collapse of the local reality, and it has been since verified. Oh, the mail that I've received and the obnoxious arrogance, really ridiculous stuff that's been being thrown at me, in the name of Christopher Hitchens. I would caution you. You've accumulated a groupie following of an enormous number of people that are. They certainly don't give any honor to you. And about this spin of atheism. I think that my question to you is that, you can, if you want, answer the question that you posed about you have to name me an ethical statement or a moral action that was performed by a religious person in the name of faith that could not have been made, etc., by one of no faith. You have your own opinion of that. I think you should, now that I've answered it, and I'm not explaining what the mind-body problem resolution is, because I don't do people's science for them. They either can do it or they can't. That's it. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov. Thank you for listening, and blessings from Jerusalem in Kabel B'Shilatet, receiving to give.